Good morning, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Doing really great, excited to be here.
I'm glad to hear that. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm currently a student at the University of Texas. I'm a business honors major and a Plan 2 major. And Plan 2 is the liberal arts honors program, so I get a little bit of the humanities and a little bit of the business with that. I'm currently really involved with the Undergraduate Business Council, which is the governing council of McCombs. So through that, I get a little bit of the understanding of the logistics and planning process for lots of major events. We brought some very significant people, CEOs of Procter & Gamble, Deloitte to our campus. We also put on service projects. And next year I'm going to be chair of the Community Service Committee, actually. I'm also really involved in other nonprofit sectors through Girl Scouts. Right now I'm actually an intern at the Girl Scouts in Northeast Texas.
Wonderful. So, why are you interested in this job?
Well, I'm interested in being an agency partnership manager for Target Corporation because I'm really interested in the marketing aspect of how Target works. And I think I could really bring to this a different perspective on how to bring together the different people in order to make the agencies all work for the best marketing and brand management possible.
Interesting. What makes you the best person for this job?
Well, my experience so far has really given me a great understanding of logistics and coordination. And since as agency partnership manager, I will be looking at a lot of different agencies and having them work together the best way possible in order to make them as effective as possible, I think this really gives me a leg up. For instance, in the Undergraduate Business Council, I was on the technology team, and as a result, I was responsible for putting out publicity to a lot of different parts of the organization and getting that out to the entire Macomb school. In doing this, we had to coordinate between all these different committees that were doing different things for the organization and make sure everything went on the website on time, made sure everything got to print on time, and really effectively coordinating everything in a very marketing standpoint, making sure everyone came out pleased with the situation.
So you are very involved in your college.
Yes.
That's wonderful. Now, what marketing experience do you have?
I currently have experience through case competitions at McCombs. I participated in the General Motors case competition this past year, and we actually won second place, and it was a marketing-based case. We provided them with a 3-tiered approach to changing their marketing strategy to appeal to Generation Y, which is the youngest generation of consumers. I really had to take into consideration a lot of different aspects in this and do a lot of research as well, and I had to work very well with my team to do that. So this is the basic marketing research I have right now, marketing experience, that I have right now. I'm also currently a marketing and fund development intern at Girl Scouts in Northeast Texas, so I'm getting a really close view of how the rebranding is going for, I believe Girl Scouts is the 16th most well-known nonprofit brand in America, and this way it's rebranding right now, moving towards a whole new generation of girls, and I'm part of this process learning about the research, the development, and how to really rebrand Girl Scouts as a whole.
So you really think you can bring some change?
Yes, I do. I'm pretty sure I can.
Okay, tell me about a time you were challenged when working in a group.
Well, I recently, actually one of the groups I was in for school is a good example of this. I was in a group for a group project, and as a result of this, we were put in a group. It wasn't really our choice. We were put together, and I had to learn how to work with other people and really be effective without knowing the people I was working with. And we were challenged because one of our group members just didn't show up. Literally did not show up for anything, and it was a big problem because we didn't know, how should we approach him. So what we ended up doing was sitting down, because this was an assignment for credit. We needed him to be there. We also needed him to get the most benefit out of it possible because everything that we did was dependent on everyone had to be present for us to get the most out of it and learn the most for the exam. So we sat down with him and told him, we need you to be there, and this is why. It wasn't just for our benefit that we wanted him there, but also for everyone else's, but also for his benefit in order to get the most of the class. And I think this really showed him that we weren't just thinking about ourselves, but also him, and he realized that he was a part of the team and that he had to work with as well, and that, I think, really we showed how to best work as a team that way.
So did he really join you?
In the end, he did, and we got an A on our assignment. So, great.
Okay, so you've spoken a lot about all the work you've been doing. Do you have any weaknesses, and what are they?
Well, one of my biggest weaknesses right now is my tendency to micromanage. I really like to make sure everything comes out quite right. I have a very strong personal philosophy of personal accountability, So I believe that if I take up a goal, it has to be accomplished, and I will go to many ends to make sure it gets accomplished. And in this, sometimes I tend to micromanage the processes. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Of the project, I'll micromanage processes and kind of hover over people's jobs. So what I'm learning to do through all the organizations I'm currently involved in is really step back and see that everyone is doing their best and kind of help people lead their own track and help them become leaders in the process as well.
That's good leadership. Tell me more about your gold award.
Yeah, it's on my resume there. It's actually one of the most important things I've done so far. I believe I'm very proud of it. I worked with a partner when I was a junior in high school to raise over $11,000 and send 10,000 solar-powered flashlights to Kashmir, where the students there had a hard time reading and writing because there's no light. By the time the sun set and they needed to do their homework, there was no light to do their homework. So it gave me a lot of skills in terms of speaking and approaching corporations and really being bold with my statements, asking for money, and really marketing myself and my project and believing in what I was doing.
So where is this place, you said?
Kashmir is actually right between Pakistan and India, and it's an area of conflict there. So we had to do a lot of research about it. We had to approach people in our community for money, and also the logistics involved required us to work with international agencies. And so as a result of this, we were able to really learn about logistical coordination and just being very, independent about how we approach things.
Good, very good. Okay. What's the most challenging class that you have ever taken?
The most challenging class I've ever taken, I would have to say so far in my college career, is Management Information Systems. It was also the most educational class I took because I really learned a lot about a variety of things, but the teacher pushed us to learn on our own. So as a result of this, I gained an understanding of how to do my own research and take personal responsibility for the work that I produced, because I knew that how much I worked on the projects he gave us would determine how well I understood the material for the final exam. And so it was very personally motivated, which is what made it the hardest, but also, in the end, I came away with more from it than I would have otherwise.
Okay. How good are your research skills?
Research-wise, I've learned a lot, as I said, from that class itself, and I was a debater in high school, so I'm really good at finding evidence for pretty much anything. I understand the process of researching with databases through several of the classes I've taken, and from this I've gained an understanding not only of how to search, but really how to read and analyze things and make the best out of it. So I would say my research skills are pretty efficient.
So how many years have you done debate?
I did debate for 3 years in high school.
Okay. How would you deal with an agency that wasn't meeting its goals?
The first thing I would do is not jump on this agency and tell them, no, you're doing it wrong, you're incorrect, that's the best way to start a conflict. So instead of doing that, I would, first of all, step back and figure out for myself what I thought was a problem from my understanding of all the other agencies. And this would involve some research, of course. And then I would have to approach this agency or the person in charge in a safe, comfortable setting and discuss with them, these specific targets have not been met. Why? And give them an opportunity to explain themselves. And based on that, come up with a restructured plan for that agency that better utilizes its resources in order to achieve the goals it needs to.
Very good. I'm very impressed with the way you've spoken. It was a pleasure meeting you.
I actually had a few questions for you, if you don't mind. What are target corporations' philanthropic initiatives at this moment? And my second question for you would be, how did you get your job and how do you like working at Target?
I know I love this job and I've been working here for the last 10 years. And how did I get the job? I worked very hard, just like the way you did. I was very good with my research work. And I also worked 8 hours at work and then did some work at home. So I was always prepared when I came the next day to work.
Thank you very much.